Testing 1 2 1 2 check. 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 A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V. Why am I picking that up through the wireless though? Yeah, the problem, I mean, how low is it? Yeah, the problem, I mean, why are you feeding back through my, how low is it? Is that coming through my speakers? Yeah, the problem, I mean, well, it just depends. I don't think so, Bluetooth. Do you need a lot more? Or? Yeah, I mean, I'll turn down the speakers then. I mean, just see what we can do there. Stream going through there. Yes. That was driving me crazy. 1 2 check. Is that better? A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P.
20 seconds, please. Yep. Totally what it is. You got it on the back there.
Oh, that's because you're going through the monitor. Oh.
I like that.
Is that good?
For me, it's great.
Okay. Yeah, I just turned the speakers down. Yeah, she's going to have to turn that off because the thing is, if they've got sound through the PowerPoint, I'm running it through.
So there's 3 video clips that are coming from that computer.
Yeah, it's coming through here.
Right.
Yep, that's the one it's going through. She has to turn off the background thing that's running, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the sound should be fine for the video clips.
She doesn't need to monitor.
Speakers, by the fire pit. Call for speakers by the fire pit, 5:45. The waving hand. There's 2 of you there already. 3. And if Tessa and Max, Tessa from ADP and Max could please come to the speaker meeting. That's okay, I got it. Don't worry about it. Kara, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Tessa. Just need you, yeah, we're going to do a little announcement. I'm not, but I met him. That's the hardest part, right? No one fall.
I don't need to fall. My face is still like.
Yes. One, two. Hey, Brian, we're supposed to have 10 speakers. Will you count how many we have so I can find the ones that are missing?
All right, Tiffany, so nice. Do you have a card as well?
No, you're not. Christy, raise your hand.
We only have 8. We only have 8.
9.
9. We have 9. Logistics out in New Albany? No, it's Hebrew. Okay. Yeah. I'm Christina. Hey there. So, you both in HR there, or? Payroll. Payroll. Very cool. How about you? With a company called Employers Resource Association. Okay. We help companies with their HR needs. See, I've run into, again, your team in different places, and Newark, and they're part of the Licking County Chamber. Oh, yeah. We run into them periodically. They have these different events.
Yep, absolutely.
Welcome.
Woo! Hello.
How we doing? By the way, my name's Maverick, and she's Goose.
Wait a second. I thought I was Maverick and you were Goose.
Okay, I'm Jamie, and she's...
What? I'm Jamie, and this is John, and we are your co-hosts for the first ever Disrupt HR Columbus.
Let's go. All right, everyone raise a hand if you've ever been to Disrupt HR, anywhere, anytime. All right, way to go, Bridget. So many of you have not been here before, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what's going to happen, and then I'll shut up and let the speakers do their thing. First and foremost, she's Jamie, I'm John. We're the co-organizers, co-hosts for tonight. I'll be doing most of the talking, and Jamie will make sure that you guys are social mediaing tonight like wizards, all right? You know how to social media like a wizard? Anyone? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so first off, since 2013, Disrupt HR was started in a little town called Cincinnati, Ohio, just about 100 miles southwest of where we are right now. Jen McGlure and Steve Brown, many of you probably know both of them, put on the very first Disrupt in Cincinnati. Couple tries by other organizers to put Disrupt HR Columbus on took place, but it didn't take place. 2019, Bridget, Jamie, and I got the wild idea that we were going to take this bull by the horns and put on Disrupt HR Columbus and make our mark, Willery's mark, on Columbus. So what's it been, 3 years? April 25th, 2020, we set the date. We were ready to roll. We had 250 people signed up for some awesome restaurant that Jamie picked out that unfortunately now is out of business because we all know what happened. Like, what a bummer. But the silver lining of all that is I have been able, throughout the course of the last 3 years, make incredible relationships, not only with our speakers, who are the show of tonight, and we have to give them our support, our sponsors, and our volunteers. So without their support, this would not be possible. We'll give a chance to say a big woot woot to them in a minute. Jane?
Just a reminder, if you guys...
Oh, sorry, I screwed up.
That's all right.
My bad, I disrupted. Here's how this works. My apologies. Thankfully, these slides are not going every 15 seconds like the presenters are going to experience. So for those of you that have not been here before, basically how this works is that they get 20 slides. And in those 20 slides, they move every 15 seconds, not with a clicker. I have control of the clicker, but it just rolls every 15 seconds. They have 5 minutes to make a great point and to have fun. Now, one of the main things that I want to make sure that we do as a group, especially those in the back that are standing up, how you all doing back there? A woot woot from the standers in the back. Let's make sure for the next 25 minutes, hopefully you don't have to go to the potty, you have enough wine in you. The taco truck will be slowed for a little bit. We'll give the speakers our full attention. We'll take a 20-minute intermission, roughly. We'll come back for the next 5 speakers. Is that cool? Can we make that deal? You can make a lot of noise if they make a good point. If you want to woot woot, you want to give them a standing O, whatever you want to do, but let's make sure that quiet murmur that you hear at a bar, let's give the speakers our full attention. There's that slide, so shush. We are really off. Oh, actually, I have a clicker. Shh. Bridget, you gave me the clicker back, and I forgot to have it. Hold on one second. This is all on purpose.
This is my turn.
There you go. Now it's
All right. So if you guys want to use any of the social media platforms, make sure you're hashtagging DisruptHRCBus. And in your pamphlets when you came in, you will see the handles of all the speakers. So please take videos, take pictures, and make sure to tag the speakers and hashtag DisruptHRCBus. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Let's get ready to rumble. All right, James. Where are you at? I'm pressing it, Bridget. I think the video's ready to play. Try it. We worked all this out like for weeks. We've been 3 years. There we go. Okay. All right, so here's our agenda. Dr. Melissa is going to go first, followed by Gabby. Then we're going to let UKG say 30 seconds of why you should buy their HR technology. Kara is going to go next. Then we had a sub. Michelle Leedy cannot be here today, so Dr. Matt volunteered. He came down from Toledo. We'll give Matt a lot of love when it's time. Then ADP will give their 20-second commercial because they'll see how UKG feels standing up here with all of you wanting the speakers to talk and not them. And then we'll have a chance for Jenny Lee to go, and then we'll do our intermission. After the intermission, I've made appointments with about 15 of you. I don't know how the other speakers are doing, or the other sponsors, excuse me. For every person that you make an appointment with that's a sponsor, you get a chance to get your name in a hat. And I'm going to give away $100 when we come back from the intermission. And then at the end of today's show, we're going to give away $200 cash. I have it sitting right here in my pocket. All right? Willory's going to say a few words after our first winner chicken dinner. Then we have Christy and Dana. Then a sponsor showcase for a lot of different sponsors. Claire and then Denise. And then another sponsor showcase. And then we're going to end with Kristen and a last winner chicken dinner. And we have a really special announcement at the end. So make sure that you stay. You must be present to win the prize as well. All right. Without further ado, Adam. All right, I'm going to get off the stage real quick, but honestly, you're amazing. Thank you for taking the leap to do this.
Thank you.
I'm very appreciative of Dr. Melissa in my life. Her husband is here today taking a video, so let's be kind. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, 1 second. 3, 2, 1, go. Not yet.
Have you ever experienced disruption in your life? You thought you were headed in one direction, but then by chance or choice, because of joy or tragedy, you find yourself on a different path? I stand before you, a clinical psychologist with a circuitous career path. I spent about 12 years providing leadership on projects in a variety of sectors, managing people, projects, and budgets, but my origin story as a professional is as a trauma therapist. So when I opened my practice 7 years ago, I had some core intentions. I wanted to make therapy accessible and palatable to those in leadership. I am still delighted by the code names that I am in people's work calendars. I wanted to bring the best of behavioral science to the workforce and work with trauma survivors still. I believe the most disruptive thing that exists is truth. Now, sometimes truth functions like a bomb. Discovery of a betrayal from somebody that you love. Sometimes it's one of your employees having the guts to sit in front of you and give you the terrible truth that you're really screwing something up. Sometimes it is subtle and it is quiet. Sometimes the truth is like handing somebody a key and watching them unlock their freedom. I still cry with clients when they discover that moment. It's pretty beautifully truthful. So I sit with presidents, partners, and principals. I sit with CHAROs and SVPs of benefits and comp, and I sit with generalists and specialists, and I'm here to tell you the truth about something important. Emotional safety is the most important thing that you can offer the workplace of the future. Hands down. Okay? Now, right now in this moment, there's a certain percentage of you that are suppressing an eye roll. There's a certain percentage of you that are suppressing a fist pump. And I'm here to tell you that we're all screwing it up, so it's okay. We are all pretty bad at interrogating our own emotional landscape, and we're abysmal at understanding other people. And when the two collide, it is a dumpster fire. I spend my day thinking about emotions, talking to people about emotions. But here's the ironic truth. Most of the time, what we're doing is we're interrogating those to make sure that maybe the emotional response is not proportional to the precipitating event. And every now and then, I'm in the business of telling somebody that what they feel is not accurate at all. So, for example, if somebody is suicidal, do I treat that with more feelings? No. We talk about thoughts. We talk about behaviors. So if there's one thing I want you to remember, is that emotionality kills empathy. We are getting this wrong. Have you ever seen a toddler have a tantrum? Okay, are they empathic in that moment? They are raw emotion. We've spent the last 15 years truthing our emotions at people. How are we doing? We are losing the capacity to truth with about our feelings, and it's a cultural catastrophe. Behavior is human currency. I have never seen somebody get fired because of their feelings. I've never watched a marriage implode because of feelings. It's behavior. Now, I changed what I'm going to say next because I am experiencing sadness and a little bit of low-key rage. I have two asks. Will you please partner with me in challenging the language of dehumanization? It is killing us. It is absolutely killing us. For-profit, entertainment news isn't going to do anything. Politicians don't have the will. We have to put our money where our mouths are. I'm really sick of having moments of silence, so I want to ask you to be my partner in this. My second request, thank you. My second request is that we tackle that insidious sister thing, the cult of positivity. It is infecting everything, and it's privileging the few. It's disadvantaging most of us, and we are never going to deal with white supremacy, racism, the legacies of oppression and misogyny unless we rip this out by the roots. So I want to ask you to be my partner. So all of these people are in your workforce, okay? And we move from what are feelings? Be ashamed of your feelings. These are my feelings. I am a feeling. You can't possibly be managing that. And the good news is cognitive flexibility are the skills that we can teach each other. So accepting paradox, non-dualistic framing, process over content. There are dozens of cognitive flexibility skills that we can teach people. So please, I'm asking you to ask us to help you. We are in the business of uncomfortable truth. We know how to create emotional safety. Let us help you manage the humans that are your resource to behave forward. Thank you.
I dropped the mic for you, Dr. Melissa. Fantastic. Now you know why we asked her to go first. Another round of applause for Dr. Melissa Briggs Phillips. Fantastic job. I signed up for both things she asked. All right, next up. All the way from Indiana.
Thank you.
1 second.
Here we go. Yay for tacos. So I get a thumbs up every second. Won't you be my manager? Leadership lessons from Mr. Rogers. I gotta admit, this was a lot more relevant 2 years ago with the Tom Hanks movie and Before the Plague, but whatever, it's okay. Some things age well. I'm actually 87 years old. You're probably wondering if it's story time or snack time because you recognize this well-dressed king from our childhood, Mr. Rogers. Great face, friendly smile, salt and pepper hair. I'm not here to talk about what a silver fox Fred Rogers was. I'm also not here to lead a group therapy session on the nightmare that was Lady Elaine. I mean, someone's got to say it. This was written for kids? That's absolutely terrifying. It's kind of what I look like when I try to put on my contour makeup in a dark room. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. I'm also not here to talk about me, but I did go to school 45 minutes away from my hometown of Pittsburgh in a town called Latrobe, the home of Rolling Rock Beer, Banana Splits, Arnold Palmer, and also the notorious, lovely Fred Rogers. I am here to talk about good leadership and what that looks like. And it's been studied for 3 centuries. There's been over 9 eras, 13 periods, over 30 theories, models, and frameworks to good leadership. It's a lot of reading. Let me save you some time and tell you everything we need to know about good leadership we learned from Mr. Fred Rogers, my hometown hero with a pussycat puppet perched on his hand. So let me share some of my favorite leadership lessons from Mr. Rogers with you today. First, lead like everyone's special because they are, duh. Fred took the time to ensure everyone he encountered felt valued and appreciated. A great reminder that as leaders, we need to help people find their unique superpower and foster that. Also, the F word's okay, and get your mind out of the gutter because I mean family. Fred was our family whether or not we had one. We get so caught up in drawing lines with the people we lead that sometimes we forget they need cared for, supported, or loved like family. He also reminded us it's okay to play even though we're boring grown-ups. Blah. We all know that taking free time to think and create leads to massive gains in productivity. So when's the last time we took some time and gave our people that time to experiment? Fred reminded us to slow down and be curious. He spoke slowly and with intention to allow others space to express ideas. Take the time to make your interactions less transactional, and I promise it only speeds up trust, not slows it down. Also, every episode, the guy changed into a comfy sweater and shoes. He was showing us it's okay to be genuine. Lead like the person you're most comfortable being, and it'll endear your team to you. They need leaders that they can identify with, not heroes they can't touch. Also, the show was the first to have a recurring black character, Officer Clemens. Rarely did they talk about civil rights or racial inequality. They didn't need to because Fred showed us sometimes you need to start doing when the words stop working. Listen, learn, and change. Once Fred had a blind fan write, "I'm worried about your fish because I can't see you feeding them." From that show forward, he said, "I'm feeding my fish right now on air." Remember, listen and learn and change, and also feed your pets. Death, divorce, violence, they're all ugly words, but what do they have in common? Fred wasn't afraid to address these topics on his show to show support for kids who experience them. Sometimes as a leader, we have to lean into ugly conversations to let people know they're not alone. Feelings are mentionable and manageable. My favorite quote, he said this to his audience, yes, but also to the Supreme Court. Research is great, data is even better, but sometimes we need to ask about and express and care about feelings. This is a picture of Fred visiting a fan in the hospital after brain surgery. Sometimes we get so caught up in being a strategic HR leader, we forget individual connections. They help us grow just as much. Another one, this is my favorite. Kindness is not naive. Fred never stopped preaching the power of kindness. A reminder that we can be kind and still kick ASS, right? Kindness isn't naivete, kindness is strategy. Fred was famous for his show, but what he did off the air was arguably more impressive. He donated his time and talent and treasure to those who needed it the most. A reminder in leadership, but also in life. Deepen our impact outside of work and we'll grow as leaders. And the best example, the most important gift he gave to us, the best way to leave a legacy is to lead by example. Be the mentor you dream of. Be the boss you'd leave jobs for. And people will remember your legacy. In the end, that was a lot of chatter to share some simple, profound truths. Be kind. Show up for people. Wear cool shoes. Hell, even wear sweaters in the summer. That was weird. But lead like Fred, and a lot more people want to follow you and be your neighbor. Thank you.
All right. Way to go, Gabby. How we doing? Is this fun so far? All right. Awesome. Okay, Max, tough job. Here comes Max from UKG. Let's give him our undivided attention for less than 60 seconds.
Hi, everybody. I'm Max with UKG. I'll be really quick. If you are in the, if you're looking to make a change for payroll, HCM, workforce management, that's what we do. Formerly, Ultimate Software, Kronos have merged together to form an industry-leading HCM solution. We have over 96% retention rate. Average client tenure is 16 years. So if you are looking to make a change or just want to take a look and see what's out there in the marketplace, please come see us. We'd be happy to engage with you. It's all about timing. We understand that. We just would love the opportunity to meet with you. I'll one-up John. I am doing a webinar tomorrow, virtual, at 1 o'clock. We're going to raffle off a Traeger grill, so getting ready for summer. So if you want to see our product, instead of just have me talk about it, come see me. We'll get your email address, and I'll send you the invite for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then also, really good transition. My SE, who will be doing the demo, worked for Mr. Rogers out of college. So fun fact. So thank you.
Awesome. Way to go, Max. Thanks, buddy. All right. One of 9 professors that we have speaking tonight. I'm kidding, but I think she's one of like 5 speakers that do adjunct professorship. That's a word. I know you're one. I know Christy's one. There's several others. Okay, that was your time to breathe. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Kara, and I hope you don't mind if I take a moment because I have a bone to pick with you, HR professionals. Stop using training as a scapegoat. You see, I have dedicated my entire career, almost 15 years, to the profession that I love, but I'm sick and tired of being blamed for this. And yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot train that cat call out of that man that still works at your company. Can't do it. But what this has in common is that is usually poor decision making. So let me ask you, who does the work in your organizations? Is it training, or is it these weird complex creatures called humans? Humans, right? So humans are really complex creatures, and I'm here to give you kind of a dose of accountability and share with you 3 tenets that guide my principles when it comes to learning and development. Because I think it's really critical, you know, what we can do and what we can't do. I'm sorry, I've never gotten a cape, so I can't save the day. So first of all, I cannot fix a lack of accountability in an organization. Do you know who does that? Your leadership. Your frontline managers. I can't train it out of them. So please stop asking. I'll try, but I can't. Also, it would be much easier if I could manipulate the minds and hearts of people, but that'd be manipulation, and I'm not that evil today. Maybe eventually I'll get there, but it's really important to know that it's very human to have free choice. And finally, no matter how many high fives your website has of how great it is, the culture of your organization is the behavior that it tolerates, period. Can't change it. So with that, you may be asking, okay, what's this apply to? So I'm going to go through a quick little example. Let's say that there's somebody in the medical field, which God bless our medical professionals the last couple of years. They are working so hard, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. They are working more hours. They're working with less support in what they're doing. So let's just say that they maybe aren't familiar with the patient, and they don't have enough time to make a decision. Now, I hate to say this, I don't think that that's only happening in healthcare. I think it's happening in all of our organizations. I don't know about you all, I certainly get asked to do more with less. And what happens with that is we work hard, and then it leads to this thing called burnout. And then when you burn out, guess what? Your performance goes in the toilet. So this example, happy ending, we'll say that somebody saved the day. But question, is that training's fault? Really? Oh, I like you, yeah, cool. So you may be asking, okay, well, maybe it's not the fault of training. And if you don't think this is real, there's currently a lady at Vanderbilt University, a nurse, who was found guilty of manslaughter and abuse for giving wrong medicine to a patient. And it happens, and this is stuff that keeps me up at night, volume 8, I promise. So you're wondering, what can training solve for? Well, I'll get to that. But what it can't solve for is it can't fix your environment, it can't fix bad leaders, it can't fix lack of motivation, and it can't fix cultural issues. It's actually where I need your partnership, HR professionals. You all have a lot of bag of tricks that could help. So humans will make mistakes. It's very human to make mistakes. So how can training help? So with training, I think the best training actually does something called enhanced decision making. Because the best training is in the flow of work. It is content that is scaffolded to what somebody does, and you ready for it? It gives people a chance to practice. Because the best thing about training is it's cool to fail. Think of all your biggest learning experiences. You probably messed up a couple of times, right? It's very human to fail in learning. So please don't think that content just fixes everything. Stop asking me to throw more content at the fire. It's not going to help. This is one of my favorite quotes from one of my knowledge crushes, Dr. Michael Allen. If content were enough, we'd only have libraries and not schools. And you know what? Content's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. We can't just keep throwing content at the problem. What we need to do is we need to take that content, apply it to the job, the work that someone's doing, and give them a chance to practice. Because when it's decision time, when it hits the fan, they're going to go back to what they know. But in another case, do they actually need to know your company was founded in 1858, or do they need to know how to get to it if a customer asks? You really need to disintegrate what is it that somebody needs to know versus what they can find just in the nick of time. So, HR professionals, please stop using training as a scapegoat. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job. Uh-oh, Bridget, what'd you do? Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, this is Michelle. She cannot be here for us, but she is watching on live stream, so I want to do something. If we can get the camera to pan the crowd or do something cool, let's all wave hi to Michelle. We love you. Sorry you can't be here next year. Way to go, Ben. Look at that panning of a camera. Guy knows what he's doing. All right. Adam? Dr. Matt is another one of our professors, so we're surrounded by really smart people. Are you good?
I'll find out in 5 minutes.
You look really handsome in that. Where'd you get that that jacket from?
I wish they could Photoshop me like they do that picture.
Yeah, exactly. You're good?
You tell me.
As soon as I sit my butt down, you're going.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to talk about 3D thinking and making your best decisions from the shower. So my name is Matt, and we got to move these slides faster. I'm going to go faster than 5 minutes. So I teach at Florida International University in Miami, and I'm a professor of athletic training. I'm a strength and conditioning coach and an athletic trainer, and I study high-pass, quick-paced decisions in volatile environments and how to do good decision-making. So that's what I do. That's where my background falls. What is 3D thinking? So 3D thinking is using hindsight, insight, and foresight. It's 3 dimensions of time, what we know and what we found out when we want to operate in these high efficient, highly volatile VUCA environments, these turbulent times, that we have 3 dimensions of time that we stick to, past, present, and future. And when we think about these 3 things, most of us default to hindsight. Hindsight drives us, what we've done in the past, what worked out in the past, what didn't work in the past, how the past was messed up. And we tend to go there and visit there more than any other place. But to actually make the best decisions, to make good decisions, to make better decisions, we have to also anticipate the present and the future. So my question is, and one of the things that I like to ask is, where do ideas live? Where do we have great ideas? So the question I ask, and I researched this, is where are you at and what are you doing when you have your best, most creative ideas, right? Now, before we get there, let's talk about Play-Doh. A pilot must of necessity pay attention to the seasons, the heavens, the stars, the winds, everything proper to the craft if he is to master the ship. So what we do with that, how we implement Play-Doh, is 3D thinking freefall, right? This hindsight piece. So what is 3D thinking freefall? Well, I ask everybody, where are you at and what are you doing when you have these great ideas? 5 answers always come up. Doesn't matter the country, the place, the audience. Shower and toilet. First answer that always comes up. So we always get those. People have these great ideas in the shower or on the toilet. The next great idea that always happens, and we're going to wait for it, is the car, okay? The drive, when we've all been there, right? We're coming home from work, we're decompressing from a day, whatever, and we just let our mind wander, and we start having, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, why didn't I think of this? And these great ideas just occur to us in those moments. The 4th place is some sort of mild exercise, not intense or vigorous exercise, but mild exercise, on a walk, on a jog. Again, the common theme is here is you're letting your mind wander and you're kind of just daydreaming, and all of a sudden in that moment, these things happen. And the 5th and final place is right before you nod off to sleep. Now, what's interesting is what's actually happening when you have those great ideas. Because I will ask people, well, what are you thinking about when these great ideas occur? And everybody says nothing. But the fact of the matter is, they're not thinking about nothing. They're thinking about everything. They're thinking about the past. They're thinking about the present. They're thinking about the future. And they're actually doing this 3D thinking free fall where they're falling through these 3 dimensions of time. They're thinking about what happened yesterday, what I should have did, what I didn't do. They're thinking about right now, the traffic, and they're paying attention to the run or whatever they're doing. They're present, a little vaguely present with what's going on right here. They're thinking about the future. What I need to do tomorrow, what I need to do next year. They see something that reminds them of something that happened yesterday, and they see something that reminds them about what they're supposed to do tomorrow, and they're all over 3D thinking freefall, past, present, and future. And in the middle of that, this great idea drops down on them. They have this moment of insight, this moment of clarity. And what's happening there is you're opening up all these different experiences, the past, the present, and the future. And future is just anticipated memories, by the way. That's what foresight is. It's the ideal future. You think about all these moments of time, and you're back and forth between them. And because you're opening all these experiences up, this great idea occurs to you. Now, what's interesting about this is I also follow up with people, and I ask them, so when this happens, and these 5 things happens, where are you not? And nobody, they don't think about that. And it dawned on me, no one has ever answered that question at work. No one's ever had a great idea at work. Or at least they don't claim to have one. So when we get to this idea of hindsight, insight, and foresight, one of the things that we have to understand is we have to, as HR professionals, as people who want our people to think better, we've got to create space where they can have this 3D thinking free fall, this open system thinking where they are allowed to pull in the past, the present, and the future to bear on the situations that they have. That's all I've got.
There you go, Matt. That was awesome. Good job.
13 of those slides, I had no idea what they were.
All right, this whole thing, right? We have months, years of practice. What he just did was fantastic. What everyone else is going to do is fantastic. This is no small feat. Are we having fun? All right. Okay, Tessa, Tessa, you're up next. You have less than 60 seconds. Go now. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Thanks,
Go ahead.
thanks, John.
No, go
I
ahead.
got it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Thank you, John. Hi, I'm Tessa Funyak with ADP. I know everyone knows who ADP is, so I'm not going to give you a huge commercial, but typically when you hear the name ADP, you think of payroll, right? Even teenagers getting paid at their first job, oh, it's ADP. Like, it's a household name, right, by now. But ADP is so much more than that, right? HR, just think of all the things. Oh, I just got louder. Sorry. Just think of all the things that are included in HR. So, the things we've done in the HR world in the last, even 10, 15, 20 years is amazing. So just really kind of, when you're thinking of HR providers, to think of ADP, because again, we're not just payroll. But if there's something we can't do, right, we have an amazing marketplace. The ADP marketplace really differentiates us in the market. We have partners, in every kind of technology sector that integrate with ADP. So it's really cool. And the other thing I'll just mention to end on is that we also pay employees in 143 countries, right? So that's pretty cool, right? And very, very unique. So thanks for being here, and come say hi.
All right, come on. You got it. Oops, sorry. Tessa's the first person to come on stage with a drink in her hand. Let's give her a round of applause for that. Way to go, Tessa. Did someone else do it? Oh, Jamie, sorry. I missed that part. I wasn't paying attention. I just really wanted to be Maverick, and she was insistent. We did that, right? We got that figured out. All right, Adam. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Are you ready?
Here we go.
You don't, go back. Oh, you can't go back. You have to go back. I did? Okay.
That's my charming husband. He's kidding, mostly. But
Hey, I didn't trip. Yet. This is the type of relationship we have through text message. And as you are looking to bring on top talent to your organization, you should also be trying to build connections with individuals who have the same vision and cultural values that your company has. Relationship recruiting now includes conducting full interviews via text message. Wait, what? This sounds like a scam. Think of what could go wrong. Yes, but consider what could go right. Unlike traditional interviews, you now have a full transcript of the entire conversation. You can figure out what questions take a little bit longer to answer, or at what part of the process people just become disinterested. Okay, what does this look like? There are a few forms that the interview can take. There's the live method, kind of mirrors what you're used to in an interview. You set a time, the interviewer and the candidate go back and forth with questions and answers. There's the questionnaire format, where the interviewer provides the entire list of questions, the candidate reviews them and provides all of the answers at once completed. There's also more of a hybrid format, a little bit more relaxed, where there's no time limit set and both parties review the question and then the answer until the interview is complete. This last provides little to no disruption to the candidate's daily life. Implementing text messaging into your process really takes no effort, no change. What can you do to up the ante? How can you impact the life of your candidates? How can you connect with them? What can you do? Here are some do's and don'ts for text messaging. Do create a text messaging etiquette policy. Determine when and how text messaging is appropriate. This sets clear boundaries, expectations, and maintains public image. Do set a casual and comfortable environment for all involved. Even use emojis when appropriate. Do consider the conversational flow of the candidate. Are they using short or long messages? What is their speed, their cadence? This helps to build rapport. And do consider if technology is useful in all interviews. Okay, we all remember how charming my husband was in his text message. Even I wouldn't have married him based on text message alone. Don't be concerned if the candidate isn't responding right away. This format allows for someone to really think about their answers before responding. They have time to consider their answer. Don't use typical questions. We all know what to expect in an interview. Tell me about yourself. What are your weaknesses? This innovative platform calls for innovative questions that allows you to connect with the right candidates to match with the opportunity and your corporate culture. And for goodness sake, don't forget to follow up. Connect with the candidate. And even send them a good luck meme on their first day. Innovation, culture, efficiency. By adding this one strategy to your process, you are just a text message away from attracting top talent to your team.
All right, Jenny Lee. Thank you so much.
Still didn't trip.
Regretfully, genuinely, I think I'm in your presentation, so I'm so sorry. Ben, you can cut that part out when the time comes. All right, we are at the moment to take an intermission. We're going to give you 23 minutes. I'm going to time it from right now. Just two quick housekeeping things. Number one, there is a restroom inside of the winery. There's one toilet in that restroom. There's also a porta potty right outside if you need that as well. The taco truck is open. So too is the wine bar. Also, don't forget about connecting with those sponsors. We'll do our first giveaway when you all get back. And listen for an old Beatles song to remind you to get back into your seat. See you in 22 minutes. good? We're talking. Yeah, okay. All right, everybody, we're back. I think we're back. We're back. Now we're back. Yes. We having fun yet? Yeah. Okay, cool. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Anybody can tell me this guy's name in less than 2 seconds. You have a better chance of winning. No, this guy. Not that guy. Not Matt. The guy on the screen. I'm pointing at the thing I can see. Is it Bart? Simpson. Homer Simpson. Okay. And the winner is, this is for $100, a C note. Hold on 1 second. Ooh.
Sponsor company name is Willery.
Okay.
And attending name is Debbie Powell.
All right, Debbie. Come on over here. She's running. She just jumped. She just did whatever that was. Way to go. All right, next up is Bridget and Brittany to give a little shout out about Willery. You guys can talk as long as you want.
All right, everyone. Can you go to the next slide? See, I've been running it, so it's been a little awkward. Okay. So first of all, I want to cheers to all of you who are here, who are on video in virtual land, and to everyone who has made this possible over the last 3 years. Disrupt HR Columbus is here because of you. Thank you. Woo! All right, someone on social media, tell me how many times I say HR. I'll try not to cram it in too many times. So Disrupt HR is an amazing event, and Willery is so happy to be the event sponsor to bring it to Columbus. And we believe that Disrupt HR helps people empower their coworkers. And so the important part is that we are in HR, and in HR, we have the opportunity to really change the lives of the people we work with our disruptions and our empowerment. So if you are looking for a new job or looking to fill a new role, talk to Brittany, talk to Jamie, talk to John. If you are looking for new HR technology, whether that's a system selection, implementation, or optimization, also talk to John. I am just here to make everyone else look good. So can you change the slide? Thank you, Ross. I am so excited to introduce Willery's new Director of People Operations and Culture, Christy Engler. She is, and I think we have some walk-up music going on. Hold on. Oh.
Hi-oh!
Christy, let us know when you're ready.
Okay. Thanks, Bridget. Appreciate that, by the way. Good evening. Tonight I present the King and the Princess, also known as Why Outsourcing is Not a 4-Letter Word. We're disrupting HR now, huh? All right, let's do this. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a small kingdom. Some might call it tiny, but it was a great nation. Lots of cool people, all in community together, ruled for many, many years by a very cool conservative king and his fair queen. But they were tired. They're done. They want to do other things. They're ready to travel. So their eldest daughter's ready to take the throne. And she's cunning and she's entrepreneurial and she wants to expand, make it bigger. Lucky for her, there are some really cool villages and small, mid-sized kingdoms for sale not that far away. The market's pretty hot right now. So she's really excited about this. This is Lord Farquhar. He's head of operations for all of the kingdom. He's the man. He knows exactly what goes on all the time. He's got his processes down. Nothing happens that he doesn't know about. So one day, this cool messenger comes to the palace. Hear ye, introducing Happily Ever After Kingdom Management Group for all your expansion needs. Available heretofore. The princess is pretty excited about this. She's like, this could be exactly what I need. Nice partner, right? Help with the expansion. Don't put too much on my people, on my court, while we're trying to grow and trying to do cool things and get into new parts of the world. So she grabs her people together in her court and she says, let's talk about this. And Lord Farquhar is mad. He can't believe it. How could she do this? Why would she take on a partner to help grow? He's got it. He's been doing this forever, right? So then poor Lord Farquhar, he falls into a bit of a despair. He's upset. What will happen to him? Will he be banished? Made to sleep with the pigs? Or sent off to the gallows? Or pack his box? Meanwhile, the princess has an introductory tea with the lovely team at Kingdom Management Group, also known as KMG. She has an awesome team that she has put together, lots of very cool, talented people. They lay out a really neat plan for how we're going to work together as a team and collaborate and have this awesome partnership to help them grow, and while not disrupting too much going on, right? So the princess is she's pretty good, even though she's a new ruler. So she gets that Lord Farquhar is upset. And she says, hey, let's have a coming together. Let's have a meeting of the minds. Let's get on the same page here. I can't do this without you. You're going to be the main contact. I need you. Huzzah! He is so excited. Yes. Fantastic. Aha moment. I'm going to be involved. She's not trying to get rid of me. It doesn't mean just because we're taking on this partner that I'm out the door. So what happens? They get together. They have this great, amazing collaboration. The teams come. They have this great plan. Everybody knows who's on the right page and who's supposed to be doing what, and it's awesome. So then the seed of growth is planted, and then it starts to sprout. And they find a nice little village, and that's their first acquisition. It goes a little rocky, right? First acquisition, lessons learned. But over time, things get awesome. And they find lots of cool little lands, little villages, little kingdoms to add to theirs, and it grows, and it expands, and everybody's happy, and things are wonderful. And one of the coolest parts is that now they have new industry, and they're not as reliant on foreign lands. They can do stuff themselves. People who've had businesses for years, passing it down the generations, now they can do other things too. It's really, really cool. Another really neat benefit to all of this is that the princess and fairy godmother who runs KMG, they become really good friends. They got a really solid partnership, right? They start trusting each other, talk about other things. So as you can guess, what happens? They all live happily ever after. So, in conclusion, right? So what have we talked about? Outsourcing. It is an efficient, effective, cost way to grow your company. It does not mean people are going to get fired. It is not a four-letter word. Thank you.
Way to go, Christy. Awesome job. All right, let's go. Hey, forewarned, anyone that's on stage, do not stand right here because Ben can't see you, just so everybody knows. All right. Dana, you ready? Okay, she's right here. She doesn't have far to walk, so Adam. Just so you know, Dana is the president-elect for the local Rotary. So if anybody's looking to join the Rotary, right? See Dana? All right, that said, Dana, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hey, this is going to require some audience participation. Okay? So I've got two quick questions for you. The first question is, who here wants to feel appreciated at work? Say yes! Yes! Thank you. Who here wants future opportunities in the workplace? Say yes. Yes, of course you do. I mean, come on. Those were easy starter questions, I know. Also a brilliant audience. I mean, come on. The thing is that people in the workplace, they want a great place to work. I mean, that's not so hard, right? But let's think about what's happened in the last 26 months. We've had people who've quit jobs, lost jobs, got new jobs, demanding higher pay. The expectations of the workforce are changing, aren't they? And I love the fact that people are rejecting workplaces that make them feel drained, exhausted, or unappreciated. Nobody wants that. I mean, think back to yourself. Have you ever had a work experience that was draining or you felt unappreciated? How did it feel? Not good. What did it look like? How did you feel when you drove home from work? The worst. That's right. Yeah. I too had a workplace experience like that, and mine lasted for 5 years. It was so draining. And at that time, I was sad. I grew depressed. I gained a lot of weight. I could not figure out how to get out from it. When I eventually did and decided to do something better, I ended up taking a demotion to get out of that because I needed something different. I had to get out. And so I understand why people are rejecting the workplaces of today that make them feel drained. I get it. Everybody should, right? I mean, let's just think about it. People want to feel valued and appreciated and respected. Easy. But people are demanding more in the workplace now, aren't they? They also want fair pay and workplace equity and well-being, as they should, right? So leaders who can help create that kind of a workplace experience for people and take care of them and care about their well-being. I mean, the leaders should care about their own well-being and their own goals and the company goals. Nothing wrong with that. But they also need to care about each and every one of their people uniquely and get them what they need. If they don't, they leave. I mean, let me ask you all this, by a show of hands. Who in this room has been pinged on LinkedIn in the last year to see if you're interested in a new opportunity? Yes, yes, many, many, many. How about the last 3 months? Anybody? Yes, 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 many, many, many. How about within the last week? Yes, a lot. So 1 in 4 people, according to the Gallup organization, 1 in 4 professionals have been actively recruited in the last 3 months. 48 million people quit their jobs in 2021. It was a record year. And there were about 700,000 jobs all at the same time that were open that had a signing bonus. So people will leave for more money. I mean, inflation, right? But people will also leave because of a toxic work environment. So the leadership can be a key differentiator to get people in and to have them stay with you. There are many things that you can do to create a great work environment. I'm just going to give you 3 ideas right now that you could implement in some form or fashion in your workplace. And the first idea is to think about some form of flexibility. What that looks like is up to you. Start times, where they work, how they get the work done. It feels like less of a grind when you have some autonomy over your day. The second thing to think about is maybe having something like no meeting Monday. People are drained from meeting to meeting to meeting, back to back to back. How many times have you said it or heard other people say it? And the third thing that you can think about doing, this is not easy, but when people are going on vacation, how many of you have said or heard other people say, I have to work so hard before I go on vacation to get caught up, and then when I come back, I got to dig out forever, right? It feels like it's almost a punishment to go on vacation. That has been a problem since the dawn of time, which is when I started in the workplace. But it can be fixed. Really, bottom line in all of this is that people want a good place to work. They want to feel good about the work they're doing. They want to enjoy the people that they're working with. And they want to have a leader who cares about them. Right? Absolutely. Thank you.
Great job. Awesome. All right. Oh, you want your name tag back? I'll be Dana. All right. Just real quick, I want to recognize a few of the sponsors. First, thanks to Larry from HSA Bank, Michaela from iSolved, Joyce and Anthony from Anthem, Nathan from HR Acuity, Jason from Delta Dental, Niall and Brandon from USI, Joe, Bob, and Barb from Pradco, Tammy from Ceridian, and Dawn from Puzzle HR. If I said your name, raise your hand, and let's give a big shout out and thank you to our sponsors. They are all not coming up here and giving a 1-minute speech. We will spare you with that next time. All right, next presenter. She's a Zumba instructor, if anybody wants to know about Claire. Is that right? You ready,
That's
Claire?
right. I'm ready.
Okay.
Bathrooms, butts, and bottom lines. Guys, I love talking about the toilet because as humans, we will spend an average of 73 hours per year in the bathroom. And I'm excited to talk to you about something that impacts half of the population in the bathroom, and that is periods. That's right, I'm talking about menstruation. And for my folks that might be tuning out because you're like, I don't get my period, this isn't about me or for me, everyone here loves someone that menstruates. Whether it's your mom, your sister, your daughter. So tune in because we're talking about periods. And why we're talking about periods here at an HR event is because 86% of women have started their period in public and didn't have the supplies they needed. And why that impacts HR is that we found through national research study, 62% of those women have left work immediately to go get those supplies. And if you ask me, when you're in that moment of despair, if there are not period products available, I am rolling my own toilet paper and walking right out the door. And that, as HR, is money walking out the door. That is fans leaving your stadium. Those are guests leaving your event. And so what can we do as HR professionals? Well, you might be thinking, well, we do offer free period products in the bathrooms, Claire, and you might be referring to these things, those giant coin-operated dispensers. Who here has a quarter? Does anyone have a quarter? Well, according to data, only 10% of women reportedly had the proper coins to operate one of these things. And so that is why it is so important to consider offering freely accessible menstrual products in your bathrooms. And we did the math. We took the data that we had from a national research study and we plugged it into this simple equation. Imagine you have 500 female employees, roughly 50% menstruating. 62% have left work in the past year. That is money, honey, that is walking out the door. And so really, what can we do about it? First, we can start talking about menstruation and recognize that it is a natural bodily function. Next, we can recognize that legislation is passing across the United States. 6 states have passed legislation requiring K-12 schools to offer freely accessible products in the bathrooms. This increases attendance by 2.4% amongst girls. And it's not just public institutions. Ann Arbor became the first city in the United States to require all bathrooms outside the home to offer freely accessible period products. Let's hear it for Michigan. And it's not just me that is talking on stage about my vagina and about my period. It is now nationally recognized that periods are real. Disney made the first movie recognizing tampons and pads on the screen. So we have a simple question for each of you. Toilet paper is offered for free in bathrooms outside of the home. Why aren't tampons and pads? And the second most important question that you're probably thinking after that is, so Claire, what can I do? You've convinced me that menstruation is a natural bodily function and we need to make a change. We need to rip out those coin-operated dispensers and offer freely accessible period products. So what can I do? You can advocate. And you do not have to have a period to be an advocate. Everyone here can raise their hand and make some change. And I have 3 ways for you to talk to your employer, to talk to your favorite Columbus Crew stadium. And that is 1, offering menstrual products will save your company money. For just $5 per female employee per year, you can offer freely accessible menstrual products to your team. 2, offering free period products is a low-cost, high-impact way to show your employees that you actually care, especially with the Great Migration directly impacting your female workforce. And 3, if this is your company culture, ping pong is more important than periods, then boy, oh boy, do we need to talk. Together, we can change the world, one cycle at a time. We call that people helping people, period. Thank you.
Awesome job. Way to go, Claire. It's fantastic. All right, next up.
How does anyone follow that? Oh my gosh, I remember meeting Claire at Rev 1 years ago. She didn't have that much spunk.
You ready?
I am all set. In fact, I'm a great shade of beige in comparison to that. So one of the things I talked to you about today is the fact that I was thinking about this speech and I thought, how do I really come up with a topic? And the past 20 some odd months have been very, very active for me. And I want to change the framework on how we look at HR as practitioners. And I want to feel less like I'm the soft side of the business and help our businesses make data-driven decisions. I control $52 million of payroll every year. I'm still listening to what our employees are saying. I'm still gathering information. I'm still doing my research, but I'm in control of the most expensive line item on the company's budget. And when I'm going about gathering information and helping to make decisions on the part of the business, I want to sort of leave a legacy. If my 51-year-old self can tell my 27-year-old self what type of legacy to leave, I want you to think about how you're making decisions, less on, sorry for some of our earlier speakers, less on the emotional side and more about gathering the information we need to make data-driven decisions that are in the best interest of all of the stakeholders for the business. Whether it's your employees or your customers or whatever stakeholder group we're talking about. But it's interesting to note that whatever decision we're making, we're hopefully making it in the best interest of all of those groups. But wait, don't I have a really good gut reaction after 30 plus years in HR? Shouldn't I be really good at making decisions independent? Unfortunately not. There are still, and that's a resounding no, there are still decisions that I have to make that I have to default to the data that I'm gathering in order to, again, make decisions that are in the best interest of those 1,000 people that are on my payroll. Thank you, ADP, Workforce Now. I've been in and out of it 72 times today. So where am I gathering that information from today? As long as it's not paychecks, I'm good. Where am I gathering that information from? First of all, I want to let you know, you're gathering it from your HRIS or HCM system. Go UKG, go ADP, go Paylocity, go anywhere but paychecks. Nonetheless, I want you to live in your HRIS system. That is, I'm not kidding, I was in and out of ADP 72 times today. Where do I keep my data? So I'm extracting data out of different systems, operating systems, my ADP system, and I'm studying that data just like a research scientist would. And that's what's giving me the backbone to sit in an executive leadership seat and be able to make strong decisions. This is an example of our aptitude dashboard. This tells me at any given point throughout the course of the day with a constant feed to ADP exactly where my turnover lies, how many people are participating in my 401k, who's picking healthcare benefits. Our data tells a story about our organization. It tells a story about our leadership, the effectiveness of our programs and initiatives, but I'm not making these decisions based upon gut instinct. I'm looking at data that tells me a story about things like turnover, something we can't ignore. I'm looking at decisions that tell me, I'm looking at data that tells me about early turnover, latent turnover, voluntary turnover, involuntary turnover. I'm looking at data from an employee engagement survey I ran this week that tells me who is highly engaged within my workforce, what percentage of my workforce is in danger of leaving, who's got 1 foot, if not 1.5 feet, out the door. I'm looking at that types of data to make decisions that are in the best interest, again, of those 1,000 people where I'm spending $52 million, and that's on payroll. Let's not talk about benefits. I'm looking at data that tells me how effective are the various functions within my department. How quickly can I fill a position? How expensive is it for me to fill a position? How productive are my employees? Out of an operating system, I can tell you exactly which of my technicians is the highest producer in any given month. And I'm looking at then going and figuring out what's driving that type of behavior and how do I reinforce that going forward. Too often, we're making decisions based upon our gut and not enough on the data that we have full and complete and quick access to. And so if I could tell that 27-year-old self, don't ignore your gut, and you have all the head knowledge from all of your years of study, but make sure that you're looking at the data that you can draw out of various systems and understand to use that data as you make decisions that are in the best interest of the organization going forward. And you can trust your gut, but make sure you're verifying it somehow. Thank you.
Great job, Denise. Thank you. Not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Next slide, please. You'll notice one of our sponsors. Everybody's subject to their own opinion. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. That was not a setup, I promise. It just happened. That's like a layup. All right. Thank you to Paychecks and Workday. We appreciate your support. Brittany from Hiraco. Thank you to Hiraco for spreading the word about Disrupt HR. Our partnership with Hiraco is fantastic. If you're not a member, please join. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to Nimble, to Brian Rolnick-Fox. Where are you at, Brian? Brian worked with all the speakers that were looking for professional stage presence support. It was an awesome benefit I think we offered to each of the speakers, and you have a new friend in Brian Rolnick-Fox. Before we bring our last... And last but not least, I want to bring all the volunteers up here. So if you are wearing a black shirt with Disrupt HR, or you're behind the scenes here, stand up, Adam, Ross, Brittany, sound guy, Ben. We'll give a big thank you to Brittany, Billy, Alex, Alexis, Ankit, Yaz, Maria, Jessica, Danny. And a super big thank you from the bottom of my heart to Bridget and to Jamie. Without their support, honest to God, this event would not be put on. So I appreciate all of that. Okay. We've come to the last, no, it's all right. We've come to the last part, and I wanted to give this last opportunity. We have a special announcement to make after the Winter Chicken Dinner, so stay with us for like 7.5 minutes, and you can go have a taco and more wine or rush home if your car's still in the church parking lot, who knows. Right, it's all set up. All your cars are gone, and we're all stuck here forever. It's called Disrupt HR Island. Who's in, right? How long can we live on tacos and wine? I don't know. All right. Oh, we got one volunteer. He's in. You'll play the music. We got music. We can video it. We'll be a reality show. All right. We got a tent. We got a lot of ideas here. All right. I'm going home. All right. Okay, I'm going to get off the stage. Sound.
And magic in the air. Oh, I'm the only one.
All right, let it rip. You ready?
As a little girl, my parents taught me that I had to be twice as good to get half as far. That's 200% of the effort for 50% of the outcome, all because of the color of my skin. I don't fault them for trying to protect me from the harsh realities that they experienced growing up as African Americans in the 50s and the 60s. But that was their filter, the way they saw the world. And they made the best decision they could with the information and experiences they had at the time. That one phrase created an unnecessary paranoia and a mistrust for people who were different than me until a light bulb moment nearly 20 years ago when I decided to write a new story. Hi, I'm Kristen Harper, and I decided that I'm more human than I am black. I'm more human than I am a woman, a mother, a Christian, a business owner, or any other identity. And I'm encouraging you, as I encourage myself, to redefine diversity. Because this is my story. I'm writing a new definition based on how I see the world, because I'm human and you're human, and it's through our humanity that we can grow together. How many of you believe in Santa Claus? Maybe you still believe in Saint Nick. Well, when you do better, you know better. And I reserve the right to change my mind. Any of you agree? Yeah. But it begs the question, how many of our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors are so deeply woven into our subconscious that they've become automatic? How many of us are living out a story and a narrative that someone else has already written? Research shows that the average person experiences 12,000 thoughts per day, and 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% of those thoughts are repetitive or automatic. So what are the origins of bias besides our upbringing? There's similarities. There's our experiences, our schooling, culture and social norms, and of course, the media and entertainment. And these thoughts are almost hardwired into our psyche, into the way that we act, that we feel, that we behave. And I'm encouraging you to write a new story. I've had the pleasure of traveling across the world to 5 different continents. And one thing is certain, the construct of race in the United States is unlike anywhere else in the world. The very notion of black and white conjures feelings, emotions, thoughts that have historical, legal, social, cultural, and even financial implications. And what I'm encouraging you to do, I believe there's a reason that some people embrace diversity and inclusion, and other people, frankly, are repelled by diversity and inclusion. And I believe it's time to build bridges instead of islands. In addition to leadership and speaking and training, my company focuses on market research. And the thing about data and insights and the market research we do with Fortune 500 companies and leading brands, data tells the what, but it doesn't tell the why. You have to talk to people to understand their unique, one-of-a-kind stories, and that can only be accomplished through conversations. And that's so important when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, because as unique as we are on the outside, each of you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and unique and beautiful in your own rights. But as diverse as we may look on the outside, I believe that we're equally diverse based on our experiences and things that are less visible to the naked eye. And that's why I believe that we have to both address systemic issues and create cultures within our organizations that help everyone feel a sense of belonging. It's not either or, it's and both, so that everyone can feel that sense of belonging, and so that you can attract, retain, nurture, and develop a culture of inclusive diversity, which is what I'm encouraging you to do with me. It's based in love, it's based in humanity, and it's based in a space where everyone has that feeling that they can belong, because empathy is what binds us together as a human race. Thank you.
All right, how did we do? We made it through. It's right before 8 o'clock. We have 2 really quick things to do, and then we'll get you out of here for more tacos, wine, or on your way home. All right, we got a winner chicken dinner for $250. You must be present to win, so if you're not here, you don't win. We pick again. And the winner is?
Joe Lubin.
Way to go, Joe. All right. Uh-oh, Joe's not here. Oh. Back again.
Really? It's $250. That's a good
And he is. He doesn't need to.
Joe Lubin. He's from Prodco. He's a good man. We have Allie Douglas for Willery.
Allie? Alice. Sorry, there you go. Sorry, we called you. Bad writing on my part.
Yeah, that's okay.
Really nice meeting you. You got it. Take care. All right. Well, there was my big surprise. We've already set the date for next year's Disrupt HR. Do you think we should do this again? Roll it back. Mark your calendars for May 17th, 2023. If you want to hear words like partner, feelings, and vagina, please come back, because it's really important to us that we continue to disrupt. We share our feelings and opinions. We partner with whoever we want, and we celebrate vaginas, right? And all that goes with it. So that being said, make sure you check out this website, Willery.com/disrupt 2023. You can buy a ticket for this event for $25 between now and the end of the week. That's for you on live stream and everyone that's here. And we're going to throw some shirts out. The last thing I'm going to ask is I'm going to take a selfie video. If you all don't mind standing up and telling us how good our speakers did, let's give them a huge, huge round of applause to our speakers. Come on, here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is what Disrupt HR looks like. Drive safe. Thank you very much. Have a great night. See you next year.